Hello and welcome to Defence Monthly. I'm Alan Peaford.
And I'm John Lake. Now this month it's been a packed month in terms of news, and we'll be looking at the Qatari Emiri Air Force and their new Hawk Squadron, and we'll also be looking at other simulation and training stories. More after the break.
Welcome back, and of course that World Defence Show really is getting closer. Well, John mentioned before the show we were going to be looking at the Qatari points. John, what's happening?
I was at RAF Leeming the other day where all the VIPs, all the dignitaries were there to unveil the Qatari Hawk. Now they're forming a joint squadron with the Royal Air Force which will operate from Leeming. That's not an interim arrangement. They're there for at least 6 years, and it looks as if it's going to be for even longer. Now, obviously, they've got a massive number of pilot vacancies to fill because they're going from a 12 aircraft fighter force to a 96 aircraft fighter force. So for them, training is vital. And now they're turning the tap on at Leeming. They're really hoping that they're going to be able to build up these squadrons rapidly. Now, we spoke to the Chief of the Air Staff, Sir Mike Wigston. We spoke to the UK Programme Manager for the whole Qatar-UK joint relationship. That's Rich Yates, Air Commodore Yates. And we also spoke to BAE Systems about their contribution to the whole training package.
Okay, let's look at the VT.
BAE Systems have provisioned 9 Hawk Mark 167 aircraft. As you can see, one behind us here today. There are 5 based currently at RAF Leeming. Next year we'll have a fleet of 9 aircraft in total, and those aircraft will be used to deliver advanced flying training and tactical training to ab initio pilots from the Qatari Emiri Air Force and the Royal Air Force together.
It's a long-standing relationship. I went through flying training 30 years ago with Qatari pilots. Many of us in the Royal Air Force have served in Qatar. We know and love the country, and we are long-standing allies operating alongside them. And so the formation of 11 Squadron Qatar Emiri Air Force here at RAF Leeming is just another step in that long-standing relationship. And I think what we'll be able to do with 11 Squadron, the Joint Hawk Training Squadron, again is complement what we've already done with 12 Squadrons. So it's another step in building that relationship between 2 air forces and contributing to that really important strategic relationship between Qatar and the United Kingdom.
I'm extremely pleased and extremely proud of progress. This is now our second of 2 joint squadrons. We have one down at Coningsby, now one up here at RAF Leeming. And I could not be happier with the progress that's been made. 11 Squadron Qatari Emiri Air Force is going to be here at Leeming for some time. The current understanding is for 6 years, but let's be honest, the UK and Qatar are long-term strategic partners, and therefore we will look to go and see where this takes us in the future.
Okay, that was great, John. I enjoyed that. Well, actually, when we talk about training, I was at the Dubai Airshow, of course, earlier this month, and I had the opportunity to find out how CAE were dealing with military defence training and the particular issues that happen with the Middle East.
So Mark, defence training and what CAE is providing, what's looking different in this part of the world?
Actually, if we look at the defence strategy, there's a lot of similarities between the Middle East and the rest of the world. If we talk, for example, many of the military around the world are really focusing on multi-domain operations. So in that sense, the Middle East is quite similar. The other elements of similarity between the Middle East and the rest of the world, I'd say, is the upcoming shortage in pilot generation. So what's happening in the Middle East with less land space and a very complex geopolitical environment, it's much more difficult to do live training exercises. So our approach to digitalization, our approach to synthetic training, we believe will be of much more interest here in the Middle East than it is in many other parts of the world.
So when you look at the actual products that you use to do that, to attract them, just talk me through. You've got a couple here. I've seen tracks, and just talk through that.
Absolutely. So we're showcasing 3 products here. The 3 of them actually have 2 very similar themes. One is immersiveness, so synthetic immersiveness. And the second theme is we're showcasing, let's say, new flying technology. So the first one is a VMT, so virtual maintenance trainer, that's actually showcasing a maintenance training capability for Grey Eagle, which is a US operated drone. So essentially it's a tool where a maintainer is able to learn all the maintenance tasks completely immersed in a synthetic environment. So in that way they can explode the equipment, they can do all of their training qualifications without ever having to touch the real thing. So they become qualified and then they can operate. We're showing a sprint trainer, which is an element of the training continuum that leverages big data, data analytics, AI. The concept here is to actually download a significant amount of training from live to synthetic, but from high fidelity training systems to lower fidelity training systems, lowering the burden on instructors and actually providing a tool where students can learn to become more proficient before they ever touch the real thing. So that way they can do self-paced learning with actually an artificial intelligence-driven instructor that will provide them guidance in terms of what they should do in terms of adjusting their training profile and whatnot. The third piece of technology actually is a repurpose of our RPA training systems applied to VTOL technology, so vertical takeoff and landing. So as you can imagine, if you look at the market, either on civil side, advanced air mobility systems, we see a lot of these electrical systems that are expanding for similar use in the defense space, where these platforms becomes much more accessible, but need the same training requirement that airline pilots may need to develop, as well as defense pilots. So it's a combination of both. We can leverage what's being done on the civil side and add the mission element to this, where the complete immersive synthetic environment will provide that mission reality so that people can go from pure synthetic training, mission ready, into operation.
Also at Dubai, I spoke to Air Marshal Gerry Mayhew, the RAF's DCOM Ops Deputy Commander Operations. That makes him the UK's senior warfighter in the air domain. Now, he spoke to us about the importance of partnerships and what they're doing to grow partnerships in our region, and he emphasised that it's very different to what might have gone before years ago. This isn't a case of the UK going in as the big I am. It's very much genuine partnerships, and they're looking for as much input from the partners as the UK is putting into those partnerships. It's a partnership of equals.
With so many partners around the world, it's about how does the sum of the parts make something that is greater together. And you're right, it is not always in the world of kinetic operations. It's coming together to share, to understand, to learn from each other. It's not just about the Brits and the Royal Air Force leading here. It's working with so many partners and friends, and particularly, as you say, re-engaging in a much more fruitful way with our friends and partners here in the Middle East. So be that from Oman, from Jordan, from Saudi Arabia, from the UAE, from Qatar, a long list, which is also a great joy to us. We're learning things day to day, and the flow is in both directions.
Also talking about the importance of partnerships was Mark Goldsack, the head of UK Defence and Security Exports. Now, the really interesting thing is he's not just talking about the bottom line. He's not talking about the contribution to UK prosperity. He's really talking about the importance of partnerships as well. He's talking about strengthening allies.
As an ally and a partner across this particular area, we think we offer a particularly strong partnership solution to our friends here. That partnership solution is vested out of the strength of our industry, born out of a hugely successful development base, primarily SME sourced, but with some world famous primes amongst them. And between them, this industrial complex provides some of the most innovative solutions to the challenging defence challenges that we see on a daily basis across the world. So for us, it's all about how do we deliver together a partnership where we can co-develop capability, co-create the sort of security atmosphere that we want, and then finally deliver that vision for a stable globe, which has prosperity at its heart, but also a clear view of how we work together to face the challenges that sit out there.
That was great. It's fabulous to see collaboration working and kind of opening the doors to partnership. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. Join us in a month's time. We know there's plenty happening. We're going to be hearing from companies like Lockheed Martin, for example, and Embraer Defence in our next show. So join us again then. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.
How do we achieve ultimate defense interoperability? Inspired by Vision 2030, we are introducing the first of its kind, the World Defense Show. Integrating land, air, sea, satellite, and security.